With a fleet strength of over 200 aircrafts, operating over 1,300 daily flights, employing 25,000 people, and having 126 offices located in 60 centers around the globe, this airline company has shown the world that it can be domestic, but it is definitely a huge corporation. Yes, my friends, today we are going to be discussing about IndiGo. IndiGo, India's largest airline, currently valued at a whopping Rs 27,500 crores, is a testimony to the levels a company can grow if it is steered by visionary entrepreneurs like Rahul Bhatia and Rakesh Gangwal, who started the company with an investment of just Rs 350 crores. In today's video, we are going to be discussing how this 350 crores immenced upon such a huge amount within such many years. So definitely stay tuned till the end. Welcome to Schematic World. This is Shantan Mukherjee helping you how to grow yourself today. If you're new here and want to learn more on how companies develop their success paths, then do consider subscribing to the channel and clicking on the bell notifications so that you never miss an update. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. When Rahul and Rakesh joined hands in 2004 to form IndiGo Aviation, the owner of IndiGo Airlines, they were fully aware of the pitfalls of the Indian aviation market, which had acquired the reputation of being airlines' graveyard and where an operator's fortune was much dependent on how well versed the promoters were in the art of managing the powers that be. But overlooking the underwritten rules of the game, Rahul and Rakesh went about their job in the most professional manner and scripted the most stunning success story in the history of Indian aviation. Credible studies indicate that the partnership model in business has had a much higher rate of failure than any other model, be it sole proprietorship or a limited liability structure. More often than not, people join hands for the purpose of making quick bucks, but without sharing common ethos and common vision. A shallow partnership doesn't last long. But there have also been many glorious exceptions that have defined this conventional wisdom. In the case of Rahul and Rakesh, personality-wise, they were as different from each other as the chalk is from cheese. But much like Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, the co-founders of Apple, but they brought their respective strengths to the table. Just like Wozniak, who knew how to build a computer, Jobs knew how to market it. At IndiGo, Rahul was the outgoing kind with a vision, while Rakesh was the resident kind of guy who likes to go about the task quietly and has been the mission implementer. While Rahul had an excellent sense of back-end commercial arithmetic and the Indian regulatory environment, Rakesh was the man who knew how to run an airline, having steered US Airways in the late 90s during some turbulent times. Rakesh's special ability was number crunching, and he knew from where to extract the margins even in the most tight situations, something that proved critical and gave IndiGo an advantage over competition when operational costs for Indian operators started soaring. He also had the negotiation skills to convince a company like Airbus to commit supply of 100 aircrafts to an airline which had not yet taken wings. Of course, his relationship with Airbus going back to his days at US Airways did come handy, while Airbus at the time too was looking to firm up its footing in the Indian sky. But most importantly, both Rahul and Rakesh had shared a dream of rewriting the script of Indian aviation, and they did it magnificently. When the two dreamers came together, they were absolutely clear that they wanted to play the game in the most ethical way. Both Rahul and Rakesh shared common professional values and wanted to prove a thing or two to Indian aviation watchers. They wanted to write a success story which had to be based on integrity and sound business principles. They were determined to play and win their game the fair way. And indeed, they went about their task in a very dignified manner, without indulging in shady deals or dubious means to gain advantage over competition. Together, they convinced, shaped, and implemented a plan which changed the script of Indian aviation forever. The duo built a profitable low-cost carrier in quick time through meticulous planning and cost-cutting measures. IndiGo employed lighter aircrafts and adopted various fuel cost control measures. All this was done without compromising on quality of the service. IndiGo operates with a young crew and boasts on time, courteous service. Contrast to this, many other players who entered the Indian aviation scene and disappeared without a trace. When the government reopened its aviation doors to private participation post 1992, there was a deluge of entrepreneurs who jumped in to launch air services. But most of them either wanted to make quick bucks or were receiving financials from shady sources. One didn't see ethical or intelligent or committed entrepreneurs taking the plunge. No wonder most of them had a very short run, the ventures nosediving quickly. But unlike many other airlines that came up, one has not heard serious stories of any unethical or wrongdoings by IndiGo. One important factor to remember in this success story is that aviation is not just a pure glam business as it might appear from the outside. Not only common people, but even policymakers and serious bankers are taken in by the drum beating and snowmanship indulged in some characters. Often, we take the guy who makes the most noise as the best guy to win the race. It's perception game. Remember how everyone had crowned Kingfisher and Vijay Mallya as the emperor of the Indian skies. Bankers would go extra miles and bend every rule to accommodate his insatiable desire for public money, but no one seriously insisted on financial accountability. Even when Kingfisher had become totally hollow and pauper from inside, not many were ready to believe that it would crash so abruptly, at least of all bankers. In contrast to Kingfisher, IndiGo went about its task in the most meticulous, quiet and professional manner. When IndiGo started its services, it was the weaker player in terms of money bag, but what it lacked in terms of capital, it made more of that by forward planning and professional service. To summarize, little wonder when Kingfisher began diving, it was not Jet or Spice, but IndiGo, which was the best position to fill up the gap. As Kingfisher crashed, IndiGo soared. Well, I hope you learned something new today. If you did, then let me know down in the comments below what do you think of IndiGo's success story. Also, check out my other videos linked here on the end screen, and with that, I shall take my leave and I shall see you in the very next one. Thank you.